There are mistakes in relationships that are not written in books, that don't appear in family guides, and certainly aren't mentioned in the polite conversations about love, respect, or patience. They don't shout. They don't demand confrontation. They only need tolerance. And the moment you allow them, when you let a wrong behavior slide, when you ignore a small fracture in trust, in that very moment, you are signing an unspoken contract with your own downfall. This isn't a lesson for the faint-hearted. This isn't a story about living comfortably in denial. This is the raw truth about what erodes relationships, what crushes families, and what quietly destroys anyone who refuses to set boundaries. Because harm doesn't always come from strangers. It doesn't always appear in glaring arguments. Most often, it creeps in silently, disguised as love, obligation, or loyalty. And if you don't see it, if you don't confront it, it will devour you, not from the outside, but from the people standing closest to you. Today, we will uncover the 7 behaviors that must never be tolerated. The 7 silent poisons that can corrode trust, respect, and the very foundation of your life. If you care about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your future, stay until the very end. And if what you are about to hear hits a truth you've been avoiding, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with anyone who needs to wake up. Because sometimes survival doesn't depend on strength, but on clarity. And the clarity to know what must never, ever be forgiven. People often say loyalty is proven over time. Machiavelli went further. He didn't measure loyalty in years, he measured it in moments of crisis. Because when life is calm, when everything is flowing, anyone can smile, pretend to care, and say all the right words. But when the storm hits, when health falters, finances crumble, or family disputes ignite, that's when you see who truly stands with you and who was only ever standing for convenience. You've seen them, the relatives who arrive for celebrations, laughing, hugging, pretending they would do anything for you. And then when you face failure, when you stumble, they vanish. No messages, no calls, no concern. Just absence. A silence louder than any excuse. And worse, when you survive, when you rebuild, they return with reasons and apologies. I didn't know what to do. I was busy. I wanted to help, but I wasn't sure. Don't believe them. Nothing is louder than silence when you needed them most. Someone who can abandon you once will do it again if you allow it. And when you forgive such a betrayal, you send a dangerous signal that there are no consequences for disloyalty. Suddenly, trust becomes conditional. Suddenly, every relationship becomes transactional. Loyalty isn't about convenience. It's about showing up when the world is collapsing. And the people who vanish in your darkest moments are the ones who will later be first to betray you again, often in ways you never expected. Machiavelli understood that betrayal isn't personal, it's structural. Because when those closest to you betray, they fracture the foundation of your entire world. Your family, your friends, your allies, they are all watching. And if they see that betrayal is tolerated, they begin to calculate whether you are still worthy of respect, trust, or commitment. Remember this. The people who abandon you in crisis are not just failing you. They are silently reshaping every relationship around you. And if you allow them back into your life without consequences, you teach everyone else the same lesson, that loyalty is optional and your boundaries are negotiable. Survival isn't about gathering numbers. It's about having one true person who will stand with you when everything else falls apart. That one person is worth more than 100 who only appear in the light. So the next time someone close disappears in your moment of need, don't seek excuses. Remember the faces. And if you survive, don't let them return to their old positions. Because every time you forgive a betrayal, you are writing a new rule for everyone else, that disloyalty carries no cost. Betrayal is silent, invisible, and slow. But if you tolerate it, it becomes unstoppable. There is nothing more dangerous than a coward sitting at the head of a family table or steering a relationship. You might think the greatest threats come from outsiders, from enemies or strangers. Machiavelli would disagree. He knew that hesitation, weakness, and fear within your own circle can destroy everything faster than any external force. Cowardice doesn't always announce itself with trembling hands or downcast eyes. It often hides behind the mask of politeness, compromise, or keeping the peace. It's the quiet fear that taking a stand could cause conflict, so the coward does nothing instead. But inaction is destruction. When a parent refuses to enforce boundaries, when a sibling or partner refuses to take responsibility, when a leader in the family delays decisions that matter most, doubt spreads. It spreads from the top down, seeping into every corner of the household. The children learn that rules are optional. The relatives learn that their whims matter more than responsibility. The people who should respect and trust you start to calculate their own benefit, not yours.
Imagine a situation where someone constantly avoids confronting difficult truths. A family member consistently disrespects agreements or breaks promises, and the person in charge hesitates to respond. Every pause, every delay signals weakness, and those watching quietly start plotting how far they can go without consequence. Machiavelli understood this deeply. Hesitation is contagious. Fear is infectious. A leader who cannot act decisively within their own family loses not only respect, but authority. And without authority, there is chaos. True leadership in the household or in life is not about being fearless. It's about acting when the moment demands it. Decisiveness, clarity, and courage do not come from certainty. They come from the willingness to act even in doubt. Some hide cowardice behind morality. They speak of patience, kindness, or fairness, as if these virtues justify inaction. But look closer. They are not afraid of being wrong. They are afraid of responsibility. They fear making a decision that could provoke discomfort or conflict. A true leader, a true guardian of family and trust, does not wait for perfect conditions. They act. They confront. They correct. They protect. And if people dislike the action, so be it. It is better to be respected than tolerated. If someone constantly avoids responsibility in your family, if they refuse to act even when action is necessary, don't mistake their politeness for wisdom. It's cowardice dressed as restraint, and it erodes trust faster than open defiance. Remember, fear spreads like a sickness. Hesitation becomes a chain, binding everyone in its path. And the family or group that tolerates indecision will fracture, not because of enemies, but because of the silence of those who should have acted. Decisiveness is not cruelty, it is protection. It is the difference between preserving respect and losing it entirely. And Machiavelli would remind you, never confuse hesitation with virtue. They are opposites in disguise. There is a certain type of person who never disagrees with you. They nod at everything you say, smile at every decision, and praise every choice, no matter how small. And strangely enough, these people are the most dangerous in your life. Flatterers do not show their danger through open conflict. They lull you into comfort. They tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And if you allow them, they will slowly erode your judgment, cloud your decisions, and make you question the value of your own instincts. Think about the relatives who always tell you how wonderful you are, how right your choices are, and how impressive your life seems. They are not loyal. They are invested in proximity to your perceived power, in the glow of your presence. They are loyal to your image, not to you. Machiavelli warned against this. Flattery is subtle poison. It does not strike immediately. It undermines slowly, quietly, and invisibly. When surrounded by praise, you begin to lose touch with reality. You start to mistake affirmation for truth, applause for advice, and smiles for support. A truly loyal person, even a family member, dares to challenge you. They speak uncomfortable truths. They remind you of your mistakes. They push back when you are wrong. They risk tension and anger because they value your well-being, not the illusion of harmony. Flatterers, on the other hand, protect only themselves. They ensure their place near you, but they will never sacrifice their comfort for your survival. When the first serious problem arises, when consequences fall, they vanish. Or worse, they quietly align with those who offer advantage, using the trust they gained to manipulate outcomes to their benefit. This is not just a problem for leaders. It happens in every household. It happens in friendships. The ones who smile at every word, who never contradict, who never push back, may appear harmless, even loving. But make no mistake, their loyalty is conditional. It exists only as long as you remain convenient, agreeable, or impressive. A true measure of loyalty is discomfort, the ability to challenge, to confront, to risk a relationship for your sake. If you surround yourself only with agreement, you are creating a world of mirrors, reflections that confirm your every thought, but offer no protection from reality.
Machiavelli would say, "Beware those who agree too much. Seek the uncomfortable ally, the one who will risk anger for truth." Because flattery, unchecked, does not just weaken trust, it destroys it, slowly and silently, until you can no longer distinguish friend from parasite. Notice those who always nod, who always offer perfect timing for compliments, who never dissent. Those are not allies, those are mirrors. And a mirror will never shield you from the storms of life. It will only reflect your own vulnerabilities back at you, leaving you blind to the dangers that surround you. Power, influence, and respect are fragile. They exist in the perception that you are in control, that your decisions matter, that your word carries weight. And nothing erodes this perception faster than a public challenge, even from someone you consider family. It doesn't take loud arguments or dramatic betrayals. Sometimes it's just a whisper, a smirk, a subtle mockery in front of others. A cousin who questions your decisions in front of the family. A sibling who makes a joke at your expense during a gathering. A friend who undermines your authority while everyone watches. They don't need swords. One small act, one tiny crack in your authority, and suddenly your control is no longer unquestioned. Machiavelli understood this. A public challenge does not need to overthrow you. It only needs to plant doubt in the minds of others. If they can speak out, why can't I? Once doubt is sown, it spreads like wildfire. Boundaries begin to blur, respect begins to fade, and others start to test limits, seeing what they can get away with. If you let a public challenge slide, if you ignore it to keep the peace, you are not being wise, you are being weak. You are signaling that your authority is negotiable, and once authority is questioned publicly, it's never quite the same. Those who challenge you know they can repeat it. Others, who watched in silence, begin to calculate their own moves, sensing opportunity. This applies not only in leadership or politics, it applies in families, friendships, and relationships. Public humiliation, disrespect, or even subtle defiance left unchecked can destroy bonds that took years to build. And often, it is tolerated because we are afraid of confrontation, afraid of conflict, afraid of making things awkward. But Machiavelli would say, no public defiance should ever go unanswered. Not with rage, not with cruelty, but with clarity. A message must be sent. Boundaries exist, and respect is not optional. This is how you preserve your standing, your dignity, and the equilibrium of the relationships that matter. And make no mistake, moral arguments, excuses, or appeals to family harmony are tools often used to mask ambition or disrespect. The person who openly or subtly challenges your authority in front of others is not simply expressing concern, they are testing, probing, and assessing whether they can rise above you. In families, this can take many forms. It might be a relative undermining your decisions with your parents present. It might be a friend who openly questions your judgment while others watch. It might even be a spouse who subtly manipulates opinions against you during gatherings. And if tolerated, it will be repeated, slowly eroding your influence, your credibility, and the respect you command. The lesson is clear. A challenge in public is not just an insult, it is a strategic strike. And silence in the face of such behavior is consent. Boundaries must be drawn. Respect must be enforced. Authority, even in the smallest of personal circles, must be preserved. Remember, those who challenge you openly may not wield weapons, but they wield influence. And if you let them, they will use it to reshape the hierarchy of trust, loyalty, and respect around you, quietly, imperceptibly, until your position is no longer yours to defend. Your greatest enemy is not always the one who opposes you. Sometimes it is the one you once protected, the one you defended, the one you helped rise when they were weak and broken. And when the storm returns, they are the first to turn their back on you. Machiavelli warned us about this danger. Ingratitude is not just forgetting a favor, it is the erasure of loyalty. It is the silent declaration that your sacrifice no longer matters, that what you gave was not valuable, and that is one of the coldest forms of betrayal. Because opposition at least shows a face, ingratitude hides behind smiles, polite distance, and quiet withdrawal. There is no argument, no open rebellion, just absence when you need support most. You will see it especially in families. You help a relative when they are struggling, financially, emotionally, socially. You open doors, you protect their reputation, you give them opportunities. And in return, they say thank you while they are still in need. But the moment they become stable, the tone changes, the warmth fades. And when you later face difficulty, that same person is suddenly unavailable.
They feel no guilt, they feel entitled. In their mind, your help was not generosity, it was something you should have done. And because they reframed your kindness as obligation, they erased their debt to you. This is what makes ingratitude so dangerous. It transforms mercy into weakness. It teaches people that they can take everything from you and give nothing back. And once that lesson is learned, it spreads. Others begin to test how much they can extract before they disappear as well. Machiavelli never told us to stop giving,
But he warned us never to give blindly, because mercy given to the wrong person does not create loyalty, it creates a predator. The ungrateful are loyal only to gain. They do not protect relationships. They do not preserve bonds. They do not honor history. They take, consume, and vanish. And if they see your position weaken, they do not hesitate to use their former closeness to damage you further. They know your vulnerabilities. They know your habits. They know your blind spots. And they will share that knowledge with whoever offers advantage. And the most painful truth? You invited them. You opened the door. You trusted them. You believed your kindness would be remembered. Machiavelli would say this: gratitude is not something you demand, it is something you test. And the moment the test fails, you never test again. The ungrateful do not change. They only become quieter, smarter, better at pretending. Watch carefully how people behave when you stop giving, when the gifts stop, when the protection fades, when the attention disappears. The grateful remain, the ungrateful dissolve, and in that silence, their true character is revealed. If you continue to feed the ungrateful, you are not generous, you are teaching them how to drain you, and eventually they will. Kindness should create bonds. When it creates entitlement instead, it must end, because the person who feels no gratitude today will feel no regret tomorrow when they betray you. Ambition itself is not a sin. Machiavelli understood this better than most. Ambition is the force that lifts people from ordinary lives into extraordinary outcomes. It pushes the timid to take risks. It gives the forgotten the courage to rise. It is the fire that drives creation, growth, and progress. But when ambition is stripped of loyalty, it becomes a hidden blade. And that blade is most dangerous not in public arenas, but within families, friendships, and inner circles. A person with ambition and no loyalty belongs to no one. They serve no bond, no history, no shared struggle. They may work beside you, they may laugh with you, they may even protect you temporarily. But beneath all of that, they serve only one master, their own rise. This is where the illusion becomes deadly. These people do not appear threatening. They rarely rebel. They do not openly challenge. They often remain neutral in disputes. They avoid taking sides. They position themselves as reasonable, balanced, and above drama. But neutrality in this context is a mask. Beneath it is preparation. They watch every move you make. They register every mistake. They study your patterns. They observe where you hesitate, where you grow tired, where your influence weakens. And when the moment comes, when confusion spreads, when authority shakes, when doubt enters the room, they do not hesitate. They step into the vacuum as if it belonged to them all along. In families, this is the relative who always stays in the middle, never fully committing, never fully resisting. In friendships, it is the one who supports whoever seems strongest in the moment. In relationships, it is the partner who subtly recalculates your worth based on your success, not your character. Machiavelli would warn you, a talented, ambitious person without visible loyalty is not an ally. They are a contender who hasn't revealed their intention yet. These people are masters of appearance. They reject praise in public, but quietly seek influence in private. They act humble, but track power like hunters. They avoid attachment, but are always present when advantage is near. And the most dangerous trait of all, they are patient. They do not strike quickly. They let you grow comfortable around them. They let you believe they are harmless. They allow you to overlook their silence in moments when your side mattered most. But when your position weakens, financially, socially, emotionally, they do not descend with you. They rise over you, calmly, cleanly, without noise. And at that moment, you realize something terrifying. They were never walking beside you. They were walking behind you, measuring your shadow.
Machiavelli taught that ambitious men must either be bound tightly or never allowed to grow near the center of power, because once they are strong enough and no longer dependent on you, their loyalty ends instantly, if it ever existed at all. Ask yourself one question about every ambitious person close to you. If everything I built collapsed tomorrow, would they still stand beside me? If your answer is uncertainty, you already have your answer. Skill does not equal loyalty. Helpfulness does not equal commitment. Smiles do not equal bonds. And ambition without loyalty is not a strength, it is a delayed betrayal, waiting for the right conditions. These people do not steal your place through force, they take it through timing, and by the time you realize what happened, they will act as if it was always meant to be theirs. Some people never raise their voice. They don't threaten. They don't rebel openly. They don't insult you to your face. And yet, they still manage to control, weaken, and eventually overthrow the strongest people around them, not with violence, not with force, but with morality. Machiavelli saw this game long before it became common. He understood that when morality is used as a weapon, it is no longer about integrity. It becomes a disguise for ambition, control, and quiet domination. These people speak in the language of virtue. They talk about what is right, what is fair, what is kind, what is healthy. But look closely. They are not trying to guide you. They are trying to position themselves above you. Because the one who controls the moral narrative controls the direction of guilt, pressure, and judgment. You will find them in families. The relative who constantly shames you for your boundaries. The sibling who frames your decisions as selfish. The parent who uses guilt as control. The partner who hides manipulation behind concern. They never command you directly. They make you command yourself, through shame, through self-doubt, through the fear of being seen as cruel, cold, or heartless. And the most dangerous part is this: if you defend yourself, they claim you are aggressive. If you stay silent, they claim you are guilty. You are never allowed to win, only to slowly retreat. This is the trap. Machiavelli warned that once a person is forced to defend their morality instead of their position, their authority is already bleeding, because power that must constantly justify itself soon loses the confidence to act. The moral manipulator does not want truth. They want leverage. They do not want fairness. They want control. They use public virtue as a shield and private pressure as a knife. Real morality is quiet. It corrects in private. It does not perform for an audience. But fake morality is loud. It requires spectators. It must be seen. It must be felt. It must place someone on trial so another can feel righteous. In families, this becomes emotional imprisonment. You are no longer free to decide. You are only free to comply without being punished by shame. Machiavelli would say this clearly: never allow morality to become the rope that tightens around your freedom. Because once you teach people that guilt is a successful weapon against you, they will never use anything else. And eventually, you will realize that you are no longer living by your will. You are performing for the approval of others. And that is not virtue. That is quiet slavery. We have now exposed 7 behaviors that, according to Machiavelli's understanding of human nature and power, must never be tolerated. Not from strangers, not from friends, and not even from family.
Betrayal in times of crisis, revealing who was only present for comfort, not for loyalty. Cowardice in leadership, turning protection into hesitation and order into chaos. Flattery disguised as loyalty, surrounding you with illusions instead of truth. Public challenges to authority, shattering respect through silent defiance. Ingratitude after kindness, transforming mercy into a weakness to exploit. Ambition without loyalty, creating silent replacements instead of allies. And finally, morality used as a weapon, turning virtue into a leash for control. These behaviors do not destroy lives loudly. They destroy them quietly, slowly, patiently, one tolerated act at a time. If you are building a life, protecting your peace, leading a family, or simply trying to stand firm in a world that constantly pushes, you must understand this truth. Power is not lost in one dramatic moment. It is surrendered in small acts of tolerance. Every time you excuse betrayal, you rewrite the rules of loyalty. Every time you ignore disrespect, you lower the standard of respect. Every time you allow guilt to override clarity, you give away a piece of your will. Machiavelli never taught cruelty. He taught vision. He taught boundaries. He taught the ability to see people as they are, not as we wish them to be. Because collapse never comes from enemies alone. It comes from what you choose to forgive in those closest to you. If you are still here at the end of this message, then you are not the kind of person who lives asleep inside relationships. You are not the one who trades dignity for temporary peace. You are not the one who sacrifices self-respect to avoid discomfort. You see clearly, and that alone already makes you dangerous to manipulation. So draw your lines, protect your standards, punish early so you don't have to punish often, and never allow love, blood, history, or guilt to blind you to behavior that will eventually destroy you. If this message exposed something you once felt but never had the words for, hit that subscribe button, because this channel exists to expose the truths most people are afraid to face about power, people, loyalty, and survival in a world that rewards deception and punishes weakness. Not everything deserves tolerance. Not everything deserves forgiveness. And not everyone deserves access to your life. That is not hatred. That is wisdom.